Human children are human. That's a pretty blindingly obvious statement, but it's also pretty strongly inconvenient for proponents of abortion. Yet it's indisputably evident. Human parents, when they reproduce human children. What else would they be? By science, you support science, don't you? The human child has a unique DNA. It's not the father's DNA. It's not the mother's DNA. It's not the DNA of the sperm cell. It's not the DNA of the egg cell. It's the DNA of the child, a unique set of human DNA. That DNA is the same on the day that the child is conceived. It's the same DNA on the day the child is born. It's the same DNA when the child is turned 10, same DNA when the child turns 50. It's the same DNA that we use for a paternity test is the same DNA that the child had in the womb, because that's not surprising. It's the same from day one, because that's the day that paternity started. DNA is the scientific proof of humanity. It's how we define things biologically. So, okay, fine, they're human, we can say that they're human by DNA, but we need a good excuse here around that. They're underdeveloped. Right, and they're underdeveloped when they're born, too. Okay, they're human, but they're dependent on the mother's body. Right, and they're dependent on the mother's body after they're born, too. If you don't have any formula around, the mother's body is the only way that child doesn't starve. You know a lot of one-day-olds striking it out on their own? Okay, they're human, but they're not fully conscious yet. Right, and you think birth changes that? The child won't have a developed conscience until months after birth at earliest, which is why the famous atheist philosophers like Peter Singer and Michael Tooley think that it's moral to kill a child after birth when their brains are so small and their life has less value than a pig, to quote him more directly. Okay, well, they're human, but it's still her body, her choice. There it is. We reach the end of the not really human argument then. If you want to make the argument the child is human, but you can still kill them, you can. I just want you to be honest about that. The child is human by every rational and biological definition. Once you admit that as fact, not opinion, then we can get down to the real discussion. If you do think that you really believe in her body, her choice, I'd invite you to watch this video or Shadowban short in the description. No one really believes in her body, her choice, because I have a feeling that when it comes down to brass tacks, you might not really believe it in all that it entails. Human children are human. It's a good slogan, and I think we should start using it more often. Thanks for watching.